So I'm so very curious what you have for me today. I have no idea what this is.
Well,
is it like every time we do a question I get to eat or what?
You
I
can
earn
just
it.
eat throughout the whole thing.
This will be a short interview then, because it's gonna be gone in 2 minutes.
Just enjoy.
I'm savoring every second of it.
Okay.
Today we're going to be eating cheesecake from juniors. I'm very excited. They should be called seniors. They're so good. Don't laugh. We're recording.
Having me.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Ben.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for your cake.
So, as actors,
Yes.
I know that the question, tell me about yourself, is like the worst question
Thank you.
for me.
But I'm afraid that you're about to ask it.
I'm not going to ask that. I am going to ask, though, tell me about your comfort food.
Oh, my favorite topic, cheesecake. I have noticed from living in New York, 3 things have changed about my palate. I now like coffee, which I think might be more the caffeine than the taste, but coffee,
Really?
yeah.
Because I'm the opposite. I'm like, I could totally go for decaf.
Oh,
I just
really?
do it for the taste.
Oh no, there's no point. It's like drinking. If I'm gonna drink, I better be getting something out of it. I'm not doing it for pleasure. No.
Wow.
And pickles. Pickles have changed, and then the third was cheesecake. So from being here, my dessert favorites went from brownies, which was number 1, to cheesecake. New York just made me fall in love with it. And now whenever I'm craving sweets, I'm like, if I just had a piece of cheesecake right now, I'd be so happy.
Really?
And it makes me really happy to eat it.
So it wasn't until you moved to New York that it was cheesecake?
No, it was like deep into moving to New York. Like at least a year or 2 into living here, I was like, this is my favorite sweet food. And sweets are my favorite. So of the favorites, it's my number 1 for sure. Yeah, it makes me smile to think about it. It's like that cheesecake, and hummus. Hummus is like, you say the word hummus, I'm like, okay, I'm down.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
down.
Interesting.
Thank you.
But you also like the Cheesecake Factory.
Which is the greatest gift on God's green earth, yeah.
So what is it about the Cheesecake Factory, though? I mean,
I love the Cheesecake Factory because you go in and the menu is about as thick as this. It's a Bible.
That's true.
And every single thing on it is just delectable. The portions are huge. You get your money's worth and everything. I mean, it's all bad for you, but who cares? It's the Cheesecake Factory. Like, I dream about it. I make plans to go out of my way to go to the Cheesecake Factory. It's so good.
That's so funny.
Thank you. It also helps that there's not one in New York, or there isn't like Deep Queens.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be accessible, so it's
Yeah.
like forbidden fruit. When I can go to it, I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Oh.
Yeah.
When was the last time that you had cheesecake, though? You can go for it, by the way.
Oh, no,
Yes.
I want to make it a special occasion. We take our first bite together. Last time I had cheesecake, I wish it was sooner. I don't know the last time I had it. It was definitely a couple months.
Really?
So I haven't had my comfort food in a while.
How is it?
Well, it's not good for you, so I try not to eat it as much as I want to.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to relieve you of the torture of
Thank
not
you.
being able to eat, so let's,
Can we toast one?
yeah, we can cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Cheers.
Mmm. Get a microphone inside my mouth while I'm chewing. That's what I want.
It's really good.
Thank you. I didn't
Wanna
make
try the
it.
plain one?
Yeah, do you want to try the red velvet? That mic's gonna hate what we just did.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, it's so soft now too from being out for a minute.
Which one do you like better?
Red velvet.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm
Oh yeah, you're the host. You have to be accommodating. Right.
So I guess, one of the reasons why you haven't had your comfort food for months is because, well, I know that you are a health nut. And you're very disciplined in, keeping healthy. And
I try
with
to.
your diet and everything. But is that something that you've always been? Like, have you always been really health conscious?
Definitely not. Growing up, I was like really heavy for most of my life until I was late into being like almost 13 years old. So late into 12, I was like, all my friends are getting girlfriends right now, and I don't have a girlfriend, and I really want a girlfriend. And my brother joined the wrestling team 9th grade of high school, so I was in 7th grade, and he got all this workout equipment for the house. And it was just like little stupid stuff you find in the yard sale, but I was like, I could totally just like sit on this bike for 30 minutes a day and like maybe get in better shape. And then like I started seeing results. Like I was like, oh, I'm losing weight. So I was like, I love this. And I just got like really into it. And now my brain's so afraid of like going back that like I'm just like, let's just eat really, really, really healthy. I know I'm really neurotic about it. I'm well aware.
No, I mean, I think it's more of like a very disciplined thing than anything else. It's something that people I think would admire. Than like, you know, I cannot not have my comfort food for months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's just like the discipline that you have is just.
I don't know. It depends. I think it's like a guilt thing because I know that as much as I would love to have this all the time, if I had this more than like 2 days in a row, it wouldn't be that special anymore. It's the forbidden fruit aspect. It's the, I can't, it's the forbidden cake. I can't have it. I want it so much more. Like, I look forward to this all week.
So, you said it was until 13 that you kind of...
13, I lost weight, and then I was like, I really like the way I look. I'll guarantee it. To quote Burlington Coat Factory. And then I got more into like, once I got into film more and stuff, it's hard not to watch like Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling and everyone named Ryan on TV who has like incredible bodies, and you're like, well, I want to look like that. And it's not like I need to, it's like I personally like the way I feel way better when I'm eating healthy, when I'm being healthy. As much as I hate going to the gym, I love it when I'm done. You know what I mean? So. I mean,
I think a majority of people do go through that. And I think some people are very successful in that, and some people still struggle with it in terms of like they fall back. And do you think it's like more of a discipline thing, or are there?
Yeah, I definitely think. Yeah, discipline in the sense of willpower. Like I notice all the time, like Monday through Thursday, I'm like, why would I ever cheat on my diet? I love the way I feel. I love the way I look. I want to devote my life to fitness. Then Friday comes, and my friend's like, do you want to go out? And a lot of people, like, it seems like they think vices occur when you're in a low place. Like, oh, I lost my job, my girlfriend left me, whatever, I'm going to drink. That kind of thing. For me, at least with food, which is definitely my vice, it's only when I'm happy. If I'm sad or like, if I'm like just not the happiest or in the best space, I don't want to eat junk food because I know it will make me worse. If I'm, even like a friend's like, hey, you want to go out? Let's go to the Cheesecake Factory. Like I want, it's make this good situation even better. Let's add food to it.
Yeah.
So that's when I get in danger because then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm like, it's the weekend. I'm having fun. I earned it. And then Monday, I'm like, why did I do that?
So is it that guilt that stops you from doing it?
100%. And a lot of the times it doesn't even work. That's why I think the discipline has to be so strong. Because I can look at this and go, well, I don't feel this way now, but if it weren't a thing that we had been planning, like impromptu, okay, that's really going to make me guilty and I shouldn't eat it, but it's already in my mouth and I have no plan on stopping. You know what I mean? Like I can be aware. Like the other day there were chips set up outside.
Oh, yeah.
And I know if I have one, I'll have 100. I love chips.
Yeah.
But, so I kind of will do mental things like, and this isn't special to me, but I took like 2. And I was like, okay, I can have these 2. But even that turned into I had 3 more probably. But you know what I mean? I try to at least tell myself I have some control over what I'm doing. There's a Louis C.K. bit about like, he doesn't understand how people finish, or how people get full. He's like, the only reason I stop eating is if my plate's empty. If there was more food coming, there is no part of my brain that says stop. Like I can eat all day, every day, anything. When I go out to eat, my friends don't believe in leftovers for whatever reason, and they're gonna throw it away. I get 5 more. Like my brain does not give me your full sensor until way past being full.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it has to be like a mental thing where you're like...
Yeah, it has to be like... A lot of the times I get excited when I see homeless people because I'm like, sweet, okay, you'll take this off my hands and I can't eat it later.
Oh.
And I've done that all the time because I'm like, I know my friends are going to throw it out, or I just ordered this, now I feel guilty. Oh, sweet, you can have it now. And that alleviates some of the stress of like, at least I won't eat it tonight.
Oh, so do you keep no snacks at home? Like
no, I only eat the ingredients of the 5 meals I eat every day. Once in a while, I'll buy like Harvest Snaps, which I love. But other than that, like never. Because I don't want to do that to myself. If I buy a box of cookies, which I could never fathom myself doing, I couldn't just have them in the house. They would be singing to me while I slept. You know what I mean? I just don't even buy. And it's that much easier, I think, doing cold turkey, in the sense of I'm just not going to have it. I'm not even going to give myself the opportunity for it, and we're going to be good for that. But the exact opposite is the same too. So if I eat this, I'm like, well, I already had a piece of cake today. I might as well go to Martha's on my way to the train and get some pudding. Well, I already had pudding. I might as well go to Moe's. It's right next door. My brain's like, you've already eaten junk food. Why not have a lot more of it? But sugar is really addictive in that way. Yeah. But it is definitely mental. So you can have the discipline, like you said, to do like cheat days or cheat meals. Like I know I'm supposed to be doing like once a week I get a meal that I can have as much junk food as I want. But I'll obsess so much over that all week that it'll mess me up. So I just kind of do like, I let myself, if I want to do this today, I just will watch myself from doing it until next week. You know what I mean? So it is a mental thing, but it's controlled my life a lot before, so I'm trying to just let it have like less. Like I know I go to the gym every day. I know I'm healthy outside of doing stuff like this, so I can be all right. I don't think anyone cares as much about my diet. Sorry.
I'm curious is when you go out with friends.
This is so good.
When you go out with friends and say, they're like, oh, let's get ice cream. And you really want ice cream, but is there more of like a joy of, is there a joy of like knowing that you will not feel guilty, or is like the feeling sad of like not being able to partake in that a bit greater? Which one's greater?
No. If I were out with friends, the second you say I'm out with friends, I know I'm eating it. Whatever it is, I know that I'm in the energy of being with friends. I can't say no to that, because the experience, I'm such an extrovert that being around other people gives me so much happiness that I know I'll only be happier with this food. I'm not going to let that negate, because then if I don't get it, I'll be thinking about everyone else eating it, and then it'll make me hungry, and I'll be hungry for the rest of the night. And like I hate myself hungry. I really do. So like I know before I leave the house, I always have to be fed, because I'm like, I'm not gonna let myself be hungry all day. All I can think about is food. All I think about every single day is what time is it, because every 3 hours I can eat. So I'm like, well, what time is it I want to eat? What time is it I want to eat? You know what I mean? So I'm out with friends. It goes out the window a little bit, but I'm usually like, the other night my friend and I went out, and he's like, I want to get ice cream, and I was like, I had just eaten on purpose, and I was like, hey man, I'm full. Get it if you want it. I'm down. I'll watch you. I'm not really wanting it right now. Then we hung out for 3-4 hours. By the end of it, he still want ice cream, and I was like, well, now I'm hungry, so yeah, we're gonna get ice cream, idiot.
What did you do to prepare for this then today? Like you knew that you were gonna eat this.
I ate a big breakfast so that after eating this, I wouldn't be tempted to go to Martha's and have a second piece of cake or something like that. It's probably not going to work, but we'll see.
I actually didn't intend to talk about food and diet for this long, but it's been a great discussion.
Thank you. It's been my great discussion.
I read from your bio that you started theater in high school. Was that?
I just like how you said I read from your bio, like we aren't in classes together and don't know each other.
Well, I actually didn't know that you started it in high school.
Oh, when did you start theater? Or acting?
Well, for me, it was part of my curriculum at school. Like drama was a compulsory subject.
What? Yeah. From what grade?
From like middle school, I think.
Wow, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it was, everyone had to do it. And then in high school, you could choose whether you wanted to study it for like further.
Did a lot of people stick with it?
No, I mean, the drama was always like a smaller group thing. Yeah, not all people were interested. But it is growing bigger though, so that's great to hear. But yeah, so you got into, was it like a school club or?
It was, I remember in 8th grade, so I was just about to graduate, and we had to dissect a pig in science class or something like that. And I had wanted to be a doctor up to that point.
Oh, really?
But I mean, I realized later that I had been watching House so much that I was like, I want to be a doctor. Then I started watching Suits, and I want to be a lawyer. And I realized that after this realization, I was like, I don't want to be a doctor. I hated doing that, like the dissecting a pig thing. So my mom was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I want, instinctually, like, well, I want to be in movies and stuff, but like that's not possible. And she's like, well, why isn't it possible? And I was like, well, like no one can actually do that. And she's like, what do you mean? You just have to like start like doing theater and stuff. And I was so opposed to theater my entire life. I was like, stupidest thing ever. I don't want any part of it. No.
Really?
My mom was always trying to push me into theater. I was like, no, it's so dumb. Because I'd always see like these really bad community theater productions and people being like, hello! And I was like, I don't want to do that. But then she pulled up a picture of Jack Black doing Romeo and Juliet on her phone, like in high school or college or something. And I was like, wait, he did that? Because he's like this awesome movie star. Excuse me. And she was like, yeah, like everyone starts in theater, which isn't true, but she's like, everyone starts in theater. Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, if I have to start in theater so that I can go like make Pineapple Express, which is like the movie I wanted to make, I was like, well then, all right, fine. Then I joined theater, and I was joining it not like, okay, this might be fun, let's see what happens. I was joining it like from the get-go, I'm coming here to learn how to be an actor because I'm going to be in movies. And it was like my goal. And my goal, subconsciously, I know now, up until last year even, was I want to get so good at this that I get taken away from the theater department of wherever I was, because like, oh, sorry guys, gotta go. I just landed a movie. Like my goal was to bypass the process and get so good so quickly that I was like too good for the program I was in, which is not the case with anything I ever do. Like skateboarding, for example, which I love so much. Every single day I practice. It took me 3 times as long for anything I wanted to try trick-wise than my friends learned it, because I'm not good at stuff. I'm not good at understanding things very well. But acting, I don't think I was necessarily a good actor, but I was really comfortable being on stage because I just loved the environment. Partially the attention, but I liked entertaining people. So I'd always MC the shows that we were doing, and like, I went out for all the musicals, even though I didn't sing or dance. I was just like, oh, I want to do this show. And like everything I was doing was, I'm doing this because I'm trying to get better. And it was a truly process-oriented, like, I'm going to be this stagehand in this play that I have no lines in because I really want the theater director to like me and pick me for the next show. Like, it was really a pinpointed plan. So yeah, I love theater. I did every single show that existed from the time I got there as a freshman. I was in. I loved it. I really, really loved it. It was so fun.
So you like found just where you had to be.
100%. Yeah. What's funny was that like most of the people in the theater department all hung out with other theater kids, and like that was kind of the group they were in. But I had all my friends were into like sports and music and all this stuff, and I all of my closest friends didn't even come to my shows. Like they did not like theater or anything like that. Like they weren't about it. And like, so I wasn't as immersed in the group as everyone else seemed to be, because I didn't really love, like I liked everyone there, but I didn't like want to like hang out super a lot. I think theater or actors in general, hit or miss. And it's like, I was talking to my mom about it, like anyone that does the same thing as you, like work wise, it's usually like, you want to go find people who with a different side of their brain working. I don't know. So I found that to be true. But I was like really close with everyone, like the theater director and all that stuff. Like really, really tight. I just like my closest friends in high school were just like going to the sports games and seeing shows and stuff like that.
So even to this day, your closest friends are non-acting.
Right now, they're all in the arts for sure. Yeah. But I think I've been so immersed in it that I just am like, what is your opinion on this? And I'm really interested now. But I'm still like, I feel like everyone's kind of this way in a sense, but I only like to surround myself with people who are going to make me think. Like, if I'm hanging out with someone who has all the answers, I don't even want to be near them. I don't like what you got to do is this. Like, you have no idea, because I have no idea, and I don't know either. But I have an idea and you have an idea, and that's great, and let's talk about our ideas, but neither of us have made it to the level we want to make it yet, so you don't know the exact way to do it. And neither do I. That's why I want to have this conversation, to be like, what should we do? What could be cool? Yeah. Do you find that as well with people you hang out with?
I think that there's this, I do agree with you in that I do like to be surrounded by people who aren't doing like what I'm constantly doing.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I sometimes feel very, a little bit like they just can't relate to, like they just don't understand.
I find that too. Yeah, that makes complete sense.
And so that's sometimes a little bit,
Do you think that as your understanding of our art and like what you want to be doing with your career and stuff like that increases and becomes more clear, the people that aren't as tuned into what you're talking about become less and less fruitful to talk to in a way?
Yes. At the same time, it does kind of motivate me to really do better and show, like, tell people that this is not what it is. Like, there's an actual art and craft that's behind it. And hopefully one day, like, they'll be able to know how much effort and how much time goes into these things.
And they might never know. Screw them. They'll just watch our work and be like, damn!
Were you always, even among your friends, were you always like the big personality, like making everyone laugh, that kind of person?
I think from being heavy when I was younger, a way to kind of deflect, don't make fun of me, because I was really, really self-conscious about it, and I really didn't like the way I looked. From from 7, like really young, I was like, don't look at me. But I want people to look at me because I liked the attention. So I think humor was a way that I was like, you guys, I want you all to like me a lot. And I know that's a residual thing that I'm still working on fixing, but it was like, I really want you guys to like me because I really don't want you guys to make fun of me. So, and this was all subconscious, but like, to make you guys like me, I'll be the funny kid. But I wasn't the kind of kid that was like making fun of himself for being heavy to deflect other people. I wanted everyone to just pretend that I wasn't heavy because I was pretending for the most part. And even when I started working out, I knew I didn't make a thing, I'm gonna start losing weight. I like secretly went into this room 30 minutes a day and worked out because I was like, if I don't admit that I'm losing weight, then I don't have to admit that there was ever weight to gain. Like there was always a weird thing about the heaviness that I was like really upset about. So I think humor came from a desire to like, get everyone to be my friend, I guess, in a way. Yeah, so then theater was really fun. But I find now like I'm getting more, in the limited, smaller production stuff, projects that I'm doing, like all dramatic stuff, like always the dramatic kid. And that's fine, I love it, but I don't really get to go out and like be the funny kid, which is what I wanted to so badly.
That's really interesting because I don't know how it is here, but in Korea, all comedians are kind of like funny to look at. So they're either very heavy or, they're not the most handsome or prettiest girl.
And do they use that as their act? Like, is that their main shtick?
Yeah. And
so you know what you're getting before the show. You see a picture, like, okay, that's what he's going to talk about.
Well, kind of. Yeah. It's kind of like written around that. And so I guess, do you think that plays, like, because now you're like fit and, you're good looking. So do you think that's why you kind of get roles that like aren't?
That's a really interesting way of looking at it. I appreciate you think that I'm that attractive that it would skew the way that people look at me. I guess it might be like the Ryan Reynolds thing. Like, he does comedies and like he started with like comedies. But I was just listening to TJ Miller talk about him after Deadpool, and it's like it's so hard for people to like
be open to laughing at him sometimes because he's so attractive that you just want to stare at him and not like, you know what I mean, in a way. Which is interesting. And he was saying that's why Deadpool worked so well is because he was behind a mask, and when he wasn't, he had burns all over his face. And he's like, it's easier to laugh at that person than Ryan Reynolds because I guess it's harder to connect to in a way,
That's
I guess.
interesting.
But I don't know. I mean, there are so many attractive, funny people.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling, like the nice guys, all those, he's so funny.
Yeah.
He's so good. It's a confidence thing too, though. Underneath it, he's confident, which is a nice thing.
So after you finished high school, you were like,
last year.
That's crazy to me.
It wasn't last year.
It was like 2.
Yeah, it wasn't
2
long
years.
ago. This will be 3 years since I graduated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So after you graduate and you're like, this is what I want to do, and you moved to New York, was there any fear at all of like, or hesitation of like, am I just doing the right thing? Because, you know, in our society, like in this day and age, people are always like, get a degree and go to college. And did you ever have that kind of hesitation or like?
My parents were so supportive of me. Like even in high school, my mama, I have 2 moms, so one's mom, one's mom. My non-biological mama, she got me in touch with someone she went to high school with who's now a filmmaker. And she was like, hadn't talked to him decades, and was like, hey, I have a kid, he wants to be an actor, can you help him show the ropes? And through like that, I would come up to the city and like skip school, and she would drive me just to come help this documentary filmmaker move boxes and interview people, just to learn and be on set, which was like just being in, like I get flashbacks all the time of like being in the city and just being like, my mom and I went to that diner and like spent $1,000 on a cheeseburger because it was like a Tuesday and like we had to get food before we went. And she was like, she would drive me to auditions. She would drive me into Maryland because she got me, like, we got a manager there for me.
Yeah.
So we'd drive to auditions around Maryland and stuff like that. She would always take me out of school to like go do stuff. She was super supportive, and she was like, you're going to do this. You're going to be great at it. I want to help you any way I can. So like she paid for me to get headshots. She paid for me to, you know, she paid for people to meet me in the industry and be like, here's what you should do right now in your career. Like literally giving me guiding posts to learn. And so by the time college came around, she was like, look, it would be stupid for you. And I started the argument, but she agreed. I was like, I just feel like right now I know exactly what I want to be doing. I'm so focused and set on my goal. I just feel like going to a normal college would be a lot of energy towards all these avenues that I don't give a shit about. I do not care about history or science. And now that I've gone to conservatories for 3 years, there is a piece of me that like I want to be smarter really badly, and I really want to know as much as I humanly can. And I'm convinced that the meaning of life is to learn as much as you can. But that's what acting, I think, lets us do, because if you can be a doctor, a lawyer, everything that I want to be on TV, the research that comes from that is like learning so much. Like I did a play last summer that was about World War II, and I learned so much about World War II for my own benefit. And it wasn't someone like that's A and that's B, that's whatever. I hate that stuff. So my parents were like, yeah, go ahead. Like, and then, I mean, they felt better because like you get a degree out of the programs, but like, it was really obvious that no one cares about degrees in this. It's like, can you act or can you? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if a piece of paper. But super supportive. My mom would come to every single production of every show I did, so she would see it 8-9 times just to like watch the stupid school plays I was in. Super supportive. I got lucky.
I love that.
Yeah, so there was never any, what are you doing? It was always like, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I got a student film for SVA. Oh, cool. Tell us how it goes. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Wow. So you came here and you were alone. But it was more like an excitement to like.
It was like, I wonder how long it's going to take until someone discovers me and I drop out of school. Still waiting on that.
That's...
I had a really grandiose confidence, and then I guess through going to a lot of different places that the actors aren't super instinctual, that I always had an idea that was like, oh, I'm pretty damn good at this. And maybe compared to other people I was, but then, especially through coming here, I was like, oh no, I'm not. I'm just better than a lot of the people I've been around, but I'm not good at this. I can fake it sometimes.
You know, you have been someone that I've always really admired, just your discipline and your drive. That even, you know, when you're a full-time student, that's not an excuse for you. No.
Wait, what do you mean? What's not an excuse for?
It's like nothing's really an excuse for you not to be doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like for me, I was like, my excuse was always, oh, I'm a full-time student, so I can't do that. But for you, I feel like it wasn't. I think having excuses is just not your.
I think it's just out of fear. Like I still have the mindset of the 8th grade self saying, well, no one can do that. And I know that people can now, but I just see so many people that are also in the same classes, in the same pathway, as much confidence as me, if not more. And I am just like, I think that they're delusional in a way sometimes. And I'm like, well, what differs me from them? Because I'm pretty damn confident and I'm working really hard and they are too. So why am I different? And so I think it's like the Judd Apatow kind of being so afraid of failure that I'm like, I'll do everything I possibly can. I'm just afraid. Like if I have to miss a class to do like a thesis film, I have to weigh like, all right, well, is the footage going to be really good while shooting on red? Okay. Is the script good? Yeah. And I love the director. Okay. All right. Yeah. Then I might miss that class, but I'm going to get that footage and that might get me a job later. Like I'm really kind of like weighing the odds a little bit.
So it's like the fear of like.
It's like, whoa, a lot of people don't make it.
Right.
And I don't want to be one of them. I think you're really sad.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for doing this with me. This is my pleasure. 6th grade, probably every single weekend, the entire year, I watched The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Like it still is my favorite movie ever. And I think it is the smartest, funniest film ever made.